aimed at improving Nigeria's electricity transmission infrastructure. Speaking at the inauguration in Abuja, Chief of Staff to the President Femi Amila said the initiative is designed to optimize and revolutionize the power sector, particularly the transmission network, while the committee reviews the legal framework and addresses possible hurdles in setting up the company. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi said the panel will ensure the process complies fully with existing laws while supporting the vision of President Tinubu to strengthen the power sector. Also speaking, the Minister of Works, David Umahi, described the initiative as innovative and timely, expressing support for the establishment of GAMCO as part of efforts to improve efficiency in Nigeria's electricity sector.
For the inauguration of the Grid Asset Management Company, otherwise known as GAMCO, which is basically to optimize and revolutionize the power generation and particularly the transmission sector. I have here terms of reference, but I will also note the terms of reference received from the Secretary to the Government is, I believe, broader than what Mr. President, the mandate that Mr. President had given. I think we should stick to the mandate, which is to look at the legal implications, if any, if there are overlaps, if there are things we need to correct in terms of establishing and setting this up. If there are legal hurdles which we need to cross, we need to do that. That's that one.
The committee is just, we know what the vision of Mr. President is. We know what he wants. Our own obligation or duty is to ensure that we achieve this without running foul of the law or disrupting existing arrangement in a manner that will negatively impact on our vision or mission in this regard.
In terms of reference, very well structured, and I align myself with the submission of Honorable Attorney General, and to admit that this is very innovative and must be supported, and on time too.
From the State House, Abuja, Folashade Abdusalam, MITV Plus.
The House of Representatives is advancing efforts to entrench Nigeria's climate transition in law. As chairman of the House Committee on Mandatory National Decarbonization, Sesi Wenga, disclosed that a national decarbonization bill has passed first and second reading and is set for a public hearing before month's end. Speaking after a stakeholders roundtable in Abuja, Wenga said the proposed legislation is designed to complement the Climate Change Act and reinforce the mandate of the National Council of Climate Change by harmonizing Nigeria's energy transition and emission reduction policies into a coherent and enforceable framework.
It is pursuant to these mandates that this respected committee is collaborating with National Council on Climate Change, convened this roundtable. This is a further demonstration of a firm resolve of the National Assembly to laying the foundation for an exclusive and inclusive process that links policy and legislation to accelerate Nigeria's transition to a low-carbon, competitive economy.
He noted that broad consultations with the private sector, oil and gas operators, civil society groups, energy experts and state actors are ongoing to ensure policy clarity, funding alignment and investor confidence, while plans are underway to convene a national carbon summit in June involving representatives from the 36 states and 774 local government areas. The House of Representatives Committee on Disability has launched an investigation into the procurement processes and project implementation of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, following allegations of contract inflation and administrative irregularities raised by stakeholders. During Thursday's proceedings chaired by Honorable Bashiru Dawudu, stakeholders accused the Commission of inflating project costs, including a disputed procurement of 101 point-of-sale machines, reportedly valued at about 97 million naira.
Mr. Chairman, it is worrisome that the National Disability Commission is the headquarters of corruption in the disability community because of what has been happening there and what is still happening there now. I have a lot to say, and I wish this public hearing will be extended because time may not permit us to do all that we have to do. It is a shame that from beginning of the commission till now, it is corruption, 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 corruption. And this corruption continues, and it will continue if the right thing is not done. And we will mobilize stakeholders to ensure that this would not continue, because we have the facts and figures.
The PTB now awarded the procurements of the 2024. Mr. Chairman, sir, I will document everything and formally present it to you. Unfortunately, if the procurement officer were around, he would have painted a clearer picture. So I apologize and assure this honorable committee that we will put everything in writing and formally present to your officer.
So our approach today was that I think some folks were invited, so which I will ask the ES who are the people invited. That's one aspect. And then we will see the complaints or petitions that are against them. I'm not going to go into so much detail trying to say that, because this is not a law court that you want to go line by line in terms of what the petition is. So if there's already a petition that was submitted and the petition has been shared with the commission, I'm sure you have response to that.
The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin, has cautioned against rushing into a nationwide ban on single-use plastic, warning that poorly planned policies could threaten jobs and disrupt industries that depend on plastic materials. Speaking at a public hearing organized by the House ad hoc Committee on Preparedness for the Single-Use Plastic Ban in Abuja, Abbas acknowledged the urgent need to tackle Nigeria's growing plastic pollution, but stressed that the transition must be carefully managed to protect livelihoods and economic stability.
The pervasive threat of plastic pollution directly threatens these fundamental responsibilities. Fellow Nigerians, the statistics are grim and undeniable. Our nation is grappling with a severe plastic waste menace that chokes our drainages, degrades our soil quality, threatens marine life in the Niger Delta and Atlantic coastline.
Committee Chairman Teza Ugbo said lawmakers are working on a comprehensive framework that balances environmental protection with economic realities.
To our environmental NGOs, community advocates, your field experience and data on pollution hotspots are invaluable in guiding where intervention is most needed. To policymakers and regulators at the federal government and state levels, you must ensure a harmonized framework for your efforts and collaborate to produce the best outcomes for the environment and the economic prosperity of our country, Nigeria.
Comfort Olainka, MITV Plus, Abuja.
The Senate Public Accounts Committee has directed the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to refund about 210 trillion naira over unexplained financial records recorded between 2017 and 2023. Chairman of the committee, Senator Aliyu Wadada, said the company failed to properly account for 103 trillion naira in accrued expenses and another 107 trillion naira listed as sundry receivables. The committee also raised concerns over duplicated subsidy payments, inflated production costs, and 5.9 billion naira reportedly spent on changing the company's name, describing the figures as unacceptable. The Senate panel has now summoned both past and present management of NNPCL and its subsidiary NAPIMS, along with their auditors, while directing the Auditor General of the Federation to conduct a forensic audit of the company's account to ensure transparency and accountability.
That because under ideal accounting principle, it would have been liability subtracted from asset. But in this case, the liability figure is unacceptable to the committee because of the contradictions in the explanations, and also the asset figure, which is the accrued receivables, 107 trillion, is also not acceptable as well to the committee. So NNPC should and must account for the two figures. Then the two figures put together make up 210 trillion. The second resolution of the committee, that the NNPCL should refund to Treasury all production costs charged against crude oil revenue for the period under review, since the NNPC and its subsidiaries, NAPIMS and Co., do not directly produce crude oil.
Some Nigerians have called for improved job satisfaction and equal opportunities for women in the workplace, stressing the need for a work environment that promotes fairness, inclusion, and equal access to leadership positions. Speaking with MITV Plus crew in Abuja to mark International Women's Day, that said women in Nigeria possess the competence and capacity to occupy a key position in both government and the private sectors if given the right support and opportunities. They emphasize the importance of raising children without gender discrimination, noting that both boys and girls should grow up with equal encouragement, opportunities, and access to resources needed for personal development. Respondent further urged government and relevant authorities to strengthen policy that promotes equal access to education for both genders, describing education as a vital tool for empowerment and the building of a more inclusive society.
Yes, I would say for me, I think women should be treated equally, if you ask me. And one of the most important things is within any work environment, job satisfaction should be very important, and women should be treated equally. And currently in Nigeria, I'm not so sure about statistics though, but I feel from most women I have met and had conversations with, I think they are not treated differently than men are, especially within a working environment. So I think that's my take on that. And women are smart enough, are strong enough to handle any position, whether in government or within any space they find themselves. Yes.
Now, yes. For now, I'll say yes, but not in every aspect, and not in every state. Because, for instance, in the north, I don't think it has gotten to the north where the girl child is receiving quality education as the boy child. They still practice child marriage. They still believe that girl children are not supposed to, be in school. They should be married. They should be at home working and stuff like that. So I feel like there are still places that don't still believe that a girl child should have quality education as a boy child. They should create awareness on how much education is needed for both genders, not just one gender, and that's it.
Because this life is only God that knows who is going to be the head or who is going to be ahead. So I don't like division. Do you understand? I don't like division. It's better we make it equal rights for the women and the men. You understand me, right? Yeah. Things should be equal. That's why I want the government to work on. Things should be equal in terms of gender, not by, let's say, because this guy is a man or something, No, don't let us use that. Let things be equal. Yes. It's not that women should occupy more seats. I wouldn't say they should occupy most seats, but they should be among men so that everything can be easy. For women, make things easy. Let's be sincere. Make things easy.
Rose Nchago reporting from Abuja, MITV+.
The European Union has expressed its readiness to collaborate with Nigeria in advancing the establishment of a national research and development fund and harmonizing science and innovation policies. Speaking at the Nigeria-EU Science and Innovation event in Lagos, themed Making Science Together, the European Union Ambassador to Nigeria and ECOWAS, Golta Mignot, said strong scientific ecosystem thrives through collaboration, trust, openness, and sustained investment rather than isolation. Mignot noted that Nigeria's science and innovation landscape holds enormous potential, stressing that closer collaboration with Europe will strengthen the connections that enable ideas, talents, and innovative solutions to move more quickly and effectively.
This last project has a large research component of more than 10 billion euros, aiming at strengthening Nigeria's pharmaceutical ecosystem. And this is, of course, complemented by direct research grants on clinical trials and under Horizon Europe Health Pillar, as we will discover together today. Ladies and gentlemen, dear partners, building on these achievements, this Nigeria-EU Science and Innovation Day is intended to be a new starting point, to open pathways for continued collaboration, follow-on initiatives, and long-term cooperation under the Global Gateway Framework. We have all one thing in common. We believe in science. We believe in science-based decisions and policies. We believe that science can help us build a better future for all human beings, not just a few of them. So let's make science together.
In his remarks, the Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Kingsley Ude, represented by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Philip Ibiogi, said Nigeria must unlock knowledge and innovation to achieve its ambition of building a $1 trillion economy. He added that boosting local production and strengthening research capacity will enhance the country's export potentials.
Nigeria will soon establish a national research and innovation fund. One of the areas of focus when it goes into operation is to seek out opportunities for joint research funding with similar entities in other countries, through which Nigerian researchers will be collaborating with researchers in those countries on projects that are beneficial to both parties. Of course, the EU is probably going to be the first partner we will be launching a joint research grants proposition with.
The head of International Cooperation for Asia, Pacific, Africa, and the Middle East, Nilke Bisman, explained that the matchmaking session between Nigeria and European organizations was designed to promote collaboration, strategic partnership, and real-world impacts.
Nigeria is, yes, among the top African performers, but you are number 8. So there really is potential to grow the collaboration between researchers and innovators between the EU and Nigeria and become the first African country to participate in this program. We have projects already in the area of health. Let me give you an example. We work together on diseases like malaria and Lassa fever that helps us to save lives in Nigeria and beyond. We have projects in digital innovation where startups from Lagos and Kano are partnering with EU tech hubs to develop AI tools for agriculture and fintech. And finally, in the area of climate action, We have joint projects under the AU-EU Green Economy Initiative that are, for example, helping Nigerian farmers adapt to climate change while reducing emissions.
Partnerships with international institutions and programs under the AU-EU Innovation Agenda continue to deepen Nigeria's global research engagement. All this in line with the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. As Nigeria advances towards establishing the National Research Development Fund and harmonized science and innovation policies, today's discussions provide an opportunity to strengthen partnerships that will accelerate discovery and societal impact.
The Nigeria EU Science and Innovation Day brought together researchers, innovators, policymakers, investors, and creative professionals to explore practical ways both regions can build functional and sustainable science ecosystem. Abiola Ismail, MITV Plus News, Lagos. A group of journalists has expressed concern over the growing effect of climate change and urban development on the indigenous people of Abuja, calling on federal and regional authorities to take proactive measures to address their challenges. The media practitioners made the call during a workshop titled 50 Years After Abuja, Climate Change and Livelihood of Abuja Original Inhabitants, held in Lagos. They noted that 5 decades after the creation of Federal Capital Territory, FCT, indigenous communities continue to lament the loss of ancestral lands, destruction of forests, and a steady decline in their means of livelihood. Executive Director of the Network of Journalists on Indigenous Issues, Adewale Adeoye, described the neglect of Abuja's original inhabitants as a critical national concern that must be addressed for Nigeria to fully uphold democratic principles and social justice.
That we should avoid a situation where there will be armed resistance in Abuja. It's not going to be funny having people carrying up us and resisting the government right in the Federal Capital Territory. So we don't want our governments to be deaf and dumb. It is right time for them to do something. And we are seeing this because as journalists, we can predict the future. We can see signals, we can see flashpoints of crisis. And Abuja is a major flashpoint of a major crisis of, that may have global impact. If there is riot in Abuja today, it's going to affect almost about 190 countries that have their embassies in Abuja. So it is right time for the government to do something, engage them, construct them. And some of the things we are proposing is that in the budget of the Federal Capital Territory, there should be a certain percentage, maybe for the education of children of Abuja original inhabitants, maybe for afforestation, planting of trees to reclaim economic trees and spiritual trees that have gone into the wind, and also to have certain percentage of the budget of SCT to deal with meeting the essentials of life of Abuja original inhabitants, like water, like health resources. If that is not done, Abuja is not going to be a safe place for the people that are leading us. I can assure you that.
Other speakers observed that while the development of Abuja under the Federal Capital Territory administration has led to significant infrastructural growth, it has often come at an ecological and social cost to indigenous territories and communities.
In this kind of situation, the government needs to make a move in addressing this situation. Dialogue with these people, hear their pains and address it. It's not too much to demand for. It's not too much because they are part of it. You go there to seek for their votes. After getting their votes, they are being neglected. There is no AOI person that has been in government since 1976 that Abuja came into existence. 50 years down the line, we are still saying the same thing. So it's still a long walk ahead.
Recalled that the Federal Capital Territory was created in 1976 through Decree No. 6 by the military government, which relocated Nigeria's capital from Lagos to Abuja. Abiola Ismail, MITV Plus News, Lagos.
As part of its contribution to easing the suffering of the people by supporting the federal and state government's palliative initiative, the Apapa local government area of Lagos State has rolled out its palliative measures by empowering indigent people with cash palliatives in the first phase of a program targeting indigent people in the council. Speaking at the flag-off ceremony for Apapa Constituency Residency Palliative Economic Genetic Data official presentation of checks to the beneficiaries of Acropeged in for Apapa local government, the Port City Council Lagos Council Chairman Idowu Sembanjo said every Nigerian is entitled to the palliative as it has no political, religious, or tribal coloration. She said the palliative was part of measures to empower indigent people in Apapa local government area while imploring the beneficiaries to make the most of this opportunity.
The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu believes in renewing the hope of living livelihood of all Nigerians. And Apapa is a place where all different ethnic groups reside, being a port city. They would rather we give them the money instead of giving them rice and all of that, that they can use the money for different things. And so that is what informed that instead of giving them or buying rice and buying gari and all of that, they would use the money. Some of them will use the money for their hospitals. Some of them will use it for rent. Some of them will use it for their children.
The senator representing Lagos Central Senatorial District, Senator Wasiu Eshilokun, commended the council chairman for the gesture in providing financial assistance to the people.
It's going to reach out to 4,000 residents of our Apapa local government. Is to make sure that no matter where you are, no matter what kind of profession that you do, especially the vulnerable ones, everybody is giving assistance to be able to do all of the things that they need to do. And we must congratulate and praise the chairman.
The beneficiaries thanked the council for the financial support, saying it will go a long way to lessen their burden.
Her is very wonderful. In short, I'm even praying that this woman should come back again because she's the best chairman in Apapa local government. Since all this while we have been in Apapa here, we've not seen a chairman that look like her. And I keep on praying that may the Almighty God bless her, open doors for her.
I thought it's something of joke, but I now see that it's something of reality. It has come to a pass, you know. And I'm so happy for the things that I see. Even I did not even expect the money that our honorable Idu gave to us.
Expected to ease the suffering of the people at this time of what some Nigerians call socio-economic difficulties, the palliative initiative provides a way out in reducing financial burdens.
This Ramadan, tensions rise and hearts are tested. Two rival sisters can love heal what pride broke. A defiant daughter, will she earn forgiveness? A young bride, can her faith bring her husband back? A wealthy businessman forced to rediscover family. An influencer torn between friendship and fame. A single mother learning that even strength needs support. 6 stories, 30 days. Faith, family, friendship, food, and forgiveness. Tales of Ramadan Season